All right, everybody out there in the Craft Chest Nation, it's Craft Chest here, and I have no earthly idea why I felt compelled to fire up the video. What am I talking about? I ain't streamed since the apocalypse started. Let's go over to this on VCam. You know, they have made such leaps and bounds and improvements on VCam. If I can get my lighting right, I still haven't fooled around over here with the Too Wicked to get my my drop light, so it's just gonna look blue to everyone out there, unless I do this, and then it's gonna look like super weird to everybody. It's gonna be super blue, so we're just gonna leave it like this. And today has been a beautiful day. I was gonna fire up the GoPro and kept forgetting. Besides that, I probably would have messed it up because I was doing some modifications to the car today, and it was very, very messy. I had a paint can explode on me, and it was partially my fault. I did drop the can, but I had no idea that these cans that I've been painting the car with, they're actually attached, and I mean literally attached to the spray nozzle. I'm gonna put that down before I mess around and spray my monitor, because it's been one of those type of evenings. It's been a good day up until the past couple hours. And then Murphy said, "You need to sit your fat ass down. You're done." Because accidents started happening. But one of the things I wanted to show everybody out there, if I can, it's still drying. I guess I should wait till it dries, because you're going to see some patchiness on here because it was outside. It's like in the 40s right now. But I think I could show you this, maybe possibly without messing up. But I've been painting the interior trim of the car in that winter gray. And I'm going to bring it up close to me because it likes to focus on me. And this turned out lovely. Scuffed it up, sanded off the I don't know, pewter color that was on it. And this is not going to do it justice, is it? How can I fix this? I need to fix this somehow or another. Let's see. Is that going to help? I don't think that's going to help. I need to get my lighting right. But let's see, right here. Let's start right here. You could get the idea of, oh, there we go, right there. You can get the idea of the paint job that I'm working on. A little bit of Project Defiant going on there. So that's what we've done this afternoon. Gently. I just want to flip it. There we go. All right. It's still tacky. This one long piece, the one that goes across the glove box, likes to be upside down. Twice. Once after I sanded it, and I put some adhesive promoter on it, and it said roll right on top of it. Even after I wiped the table, it picked up every little extra speck of dust that I missed. And so I sanded it back down again. Paint job went on spectacular. So I was like, all right, it's getting cold outside. I need to bring these pieces in, set them over here so they'll go ahead and evaporate and dry, which I've been watching this piece because I can see a little corner, and it's just, shrinking, drying up nice. That, like this piece right over here that I just showed you. I went to pick that piece up, and it was like physics broke. And it said, flip. Oh, no. But all is not lost. I can just sand it back down again, throw some more paint on it. And let me tell you something. When this thing did go, and I was putting the nozzle back on it, which I'm not going to demonstrate, but I was like, well, it's got like a hex thing to it. And I looked up in there, and I was like, oh, man, it broke a tip. It's got like just a tip that goes in the can. And it just broke off. And when I was trying to do it, it was like, whoosh, whoosh, paint everywhere. And this stuff, I don't know if you can see it still on here, it layered my hand. Acetone wasn't getting it off. And of course it was wet, so I mean that doesn't help. Gasoline would probably been better. I don't have any readily available. But this stuff, doing it like that, like getting it on you, which I wouldn't suggest. But this stuff ain't no joke. Rust-Oleum, American Accents, 2X Ultra Cover, paint and primer. Boy, let me tell you, if you need to paint something and you need to just paint it and be done with it, that stuff right there don't play. I wish the camera could do justice to what I'm looking at over here for the coverage, and I'll try to get some pictures with the iPhone whenever I put it back in. When I put it back in, because like I said, I'm going to have to sand that one down over there after it dries. And I'm just going to let it dry overnight. I'll mess with it when I get home tomorrow. These other pieces I'll be able to get back in the morning. I'll probably throw them in a car and then put them back in there. But these look spectacular. I mean, that winter gray is such a beautiful, like, just a beautiful gray. That's an awesome looking gray. It's kind of like an old school Batman gray. And I'm kind of thinking that, and I was going to accent it with the red, like I was going to take the bottom part of the trim and cut a line. I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to leave it just like this, and all the other pieces down the console and everything else, I'll probably stagger it and do like the very thin trim in red, but the big bulky pieces. I think I'm going to do it in this winter gray, because this winter gray looks awesome. It's clean, it's smooth, it's pleasing to the eye, and like when you're looking out the windshield, it's not going to be like super bright going across there. It's subdued, but it pops at the same time. Does that make sense? And speaking of popping, you know, I had a problem, and I'm just making a random vlog here. I'll post another one about the other stuff that you guys have been waiting on. But I want to get this out there because today was all about doing laundry, having fun outside, doing a little bit of work on the car. And I totally forgot what I was about to tell you. Oh, yeah, speaker. My door speaker hadn't been long, hadn't even been a year that I put some Blaupunkt 3-ways in my doors as a interim to getting some fancy speakers to put in there, like, you know, Scar or some Crescendos or something like that, some Sundown Audio, whatever, in my doors. Well, I noticed my left door was super, super quiet at times, and at times it wouldn't play at all. I was like, man, why is it I'm getting juice over here, but I'm not getting juice over here? I was like, I know everything behind the head unit. I know for a fact it's terminated properly because I shrunk it and everything else. So that can't be it. So I was like, you know, while I'm outside, it don't take but a minute to pop my door off. Let me go ahead and check this out. And something I have never seen before, and I've already thrown it away, and it wouldn't show up at the camera anyway, but the spade terminals that plug onto the speaker, you know what I'm talking about, were just straight up rust. Like, I mean, like it had oxidation worse than the Defiant did on the roof. Rust. I was like, I have never seen a spade do that. So I'm feeling in there. I'm like, is there moisture coming in someplace? You know, I was looking for holes. Like, where would the water be coming from? And I was like, well, surely the times that I'm like sitting outside and it's just like drizzling or whatever, and that water, you know, gets on the door or whatever, that little bit of stuff, I ain't never seen that before, because normally there would be rust in other areas. It was just on the spade terminals. I mean, they were solid rust color. Even on the speaker, it wouldn't, I took it, I brought it in. It's like I got a little Bluetooth amp that I can hook up very quickly. It doesn't take but a hot moment to hook it up to test speakers out, and touched it to where the spade terminals, nothing. Then I put it actually where the tensile leads hit and are soldered together on the little bracket. Works perfect. So kind of curious as to why that would be a thing, especially since they were sheath spade terminals. Very odd. But I guess moisture over time, maybe these are just bad spade terminals. Maybe I don't need to use these. You know, I don't know. I don't know what the deal was. But anyway, I took that out. I'm going to leave it out until I get a replacement speaker for it, because I think what I'm going to do is take these 6.5s out and swap them out for another set. And I have a bunch of stuff on a list on Amazon, on wish list, that I'm going to eventually get. And it's going to be like roughly, what did I say I was going to get? That and that. Roughly about, I think it's like $80 to $90 a door for what I want to do, depending on the name brand. If I go higher end, DS18's got good prices. Scar's got good prices. Scar is actually, you know, one of those silent heroes of car audio, and I might actually try the Scar out because Scar's got a pretty good name. And there's this other name brand called, I think, Genesis or Genius or whatever it is. So I'm kind of shopping around for some doors, and I want to actually customize the door a little bit. So I'm kind of waiting on to get some other stuff so that I can do the door panels right, because the door panel from where the window is and the actual plate that goes all the way down with your hand close and a little cubby hole and the regulator to the door locks and windows and all that good stuff is detached, and that may be where the moisture, but you would think that everything inside the door would be wet. See, that's the strange thing. Never felt anything wet anywhere, but I guess maybe the evaporation goes up, though. That's the lowest point of the door. That's what's so weird. I just have no clue what caused that. I don't know. I'm gonna have to take the other one off and see if the same thing happened to that. I was able to see the 6x9s in the back that use the same terminals, and they're fine. And the trunk gets water in it because my car sits so low in this pond I have to drive through sometimes out here. I've got to get a load of gravel out here, man. If anybody knows how to order gravel, like, I need a dump truck load of gravel. Y'all hit me up. Throw it down in a comment. Hit me up on Twitter or something, because I need to get that fixed, because, like, my car rides way too low. And I didn't realize until I went to take some oil out the car. That was something else I did, is I overfilled my oil because I was going to change my oil. And I pulled the dipstick out. I'm like, what the fuck? There ain't nothing on the dipstick. Like, my car ain't never burned oil. I mean, it's got 148,000 miles on it. And I'm going to tell you about the tires, too. And the rotors, how they've been acting. So I'm like, man, let me add some oil. Because, I mean, it wasn't nair on there. So I went, bought a tune-up. I was like, I was going to do a tune-up anyway. So I bought my plugs. I bought my air filter, oil change. Bought some Dextron, which my coolant actually still looks really good looking down inside there. I don't know if I'm going to change that or not. I mean, I guess 150,000 miles, I'll keep it and do it at 150,000 miles because maybe it loses its integrity. And I've never changed it before, so it's been, what, 05, we're going on 15 years now. But it still looks good. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Sometimes. We're probably going to end up doing it. So I added oil. And apparently I added too much. I was adding it, let it drain down. I don't get in a hurry. I just wait 5 or 10 minutes, let it drain down, go back. Man, still need some. And I could see it creeping up. And I ended up adding like 4 quarts of oil. So when it was all said and done, I was like, dang, man, my car, what the heck happened? Like, I'm looking for leaks, I'm looking for sprays, I'm looking for burn off, and looking on the plugs. My plugs, when I took them out, JP just happened to drive up while I was taking plugs out. I was like, damn, these plugs look awesome. Like, I had carbon buildup around the rim. All plugs do that. And it was like not buildup, but like you could see with the carbon, where the burn off, you know what I'm talking about. But the probe and the actual, where the probes hit was clean. I mean, I have it clean. No oil, nothing. So my valve stems aren't leaking. I'm like, man, where's my oil going? So the only other thing I can figure is there is some black residue around my valve covers. Or valve cover, I should say. So that's the only thing I can figure is my valve cover's leaking. But I didn't realize that son of a bitch was leaking that bad. So there I was, I put 4 quarts of oil in it. I started my car the other day, and it chugged. I was like, whoa, shit, what is this? So I was like, I better check my oil. I'm off Monday and Tuesday. I better check my oil. Oil's over full. I mean, it's up the stick. I'm like, what is that? So I overfilled it by like 2 quarts. I'm driving around with this car like this. But it's not like a super bad thing, but if you drive it long term like that, it'll make whipped cream, I guess. Like you beat an egg into whipped cream out of your oil if you let it ride that long, long periods of time like that. It'll froth your oil. It's counterintuitive, basically, is what it is. And is that a word? Is that right? So I let some oil out, checked it, had to jack it back up, let some more oil out. So I let 2 quarts out. So I was only 2 quarts low on the car, but that's still significant. But I can't find any leaks anywhere under the car. So it's got to be my valve cover that's leaking. So that was an adventure. I found that out. Still got some. I got some left over. And man, let me tell you something. Holy when I went to get this tune-up, I knew it was going to be like $120, $140 if I got everything. It was $115. Luckily, and the only reason why it was that much is because I bought these combos that they had, like a tune-up combo. My plug was separate. But they had like your synthetic oil, which that's all I've ever put in my car. Thank goodness. Because that's a saving grace on being able to run low, I guess, until you get it fixed. But I got plugs, air filter, didn't put the radiator fluid, but I got radiator fluid and an oil change. So a Mobil 1 filter and a Mobil 1 530 synthetic. $115. And, oh yeah, I got to give you an update on the lightsaber too, because I made a decision on that. I'm just going all over the place, but you guys asked for it, so here it is. I'm giving you an update on everything. I had no clue, and I saw the oil change thing was like $35. It was $34.99 for the oil change. 5 quarts and a filter, all right, of Mobil 1. So I was like, man, if I'm going to change this, I hadn't put the filter in yet whenever I actually filled it up after the fact. So kind of like flip-flopped this story. And I used what I got for the oil change to fill it, and I overfilled it. I ended up changing the filter today, too. I was like, yeah, if I'm going to let this stuff out, let's just let it out and change the filter, be done with it. And I'll just go buy some more oil. I went to buy another gallon of oil. $46. I did just like that. I was like, I ain't buying Nair oil today. $46 for 5 quarts of Mobil 1. Oh my goodness. It must be hard times in the synthetic oil industry. I was like, nope, I'm going to deal with that quart I got left. I better not let too much out, because that's the end of it. I'm not doing any more. But anyway, I got it all squared away. So the oil's good. I mean, it's like right over the max line, right there, perfect. All right, oil filter's changed, air filter's changed, plugs are changed. I started the car up, and the car's like, whoa, what is all this? And then she just started purring. She was like, oh, shit, son, I got new stuff. Yeah, thank you, Craft Chest. So then I started working on, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do any more outside. It's too cold to actually paint the car. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do some interior work, because it's time to get on the interior. Here it is. It's dried a little bit more. Can y'all see that? Oh, look at that. That winter gray gloss is just spectacular. That is amazing, that color. I love that color. Uh-oh. What is that? Oh, it's a little thick spot. It'll smooth out. And maybe where I sanded a little too hard. And you know what? Oh, yeah, that is. That's where I sanded a little too hard. Oh, I know exactly, yeah. That's where I sanded a little too hard. But you know what? A little bit of weathering, a little bit of blemish. You know, it gives character. You see it right over here? Right about there? Y'all can see it right there. That's where I sanded a little too hard, but that's my fault. Man, but that color looks amazing. Let's see how this piece is doing. Here's the corner piece on the driver's side. Look at that. Look at that curve right there. I love the way that turned out right there. Look at this. This is where, oh no, actually this is the inside. That's my computer control. That's my 2 computer controls where I go through all the menus. But man, that's awesome. I love that. And that part right there goes where the steering column is, the little adjustment on it. Dude, look at that. That's flipping awesome. I love that. That winter gray, man, That looks better on these than it does on the actual car itself. And here's the center console, or the controls where the AC goes down here. And yeah, I cut out the middle right here because I have another project that we're going to be doing in here. But here is this piece. Can I get in here? I cut out the center, and you can probably see the blemish there on it's not gonna do it here, right here where I cut it off. See that little notch? But you know what, it'll be all right once everything's said and done and I flush mount everything. It's gonna be mighty fine. It's still tacky, so I need to put this down and leave it alone. But that came out nice. That's the center trim. That's a big old hole. I could actually put a TV in there. I can put that TV in here. I got a little TV over here, a little 12-inch TV. But I'm gonna leave this alone overnight and just leave it over here, leave it set. That one piece over there, like I said, I'm about to sand it back down. Yeah, it's no big deal. Worst case scenario, if it leaves little pock holes or whatever, I'll go get some glazing putty. Good old glazing putty, man. That's the go-to, isn't it? Sand it down, repaint it. It's fine. Because this gray is kind of like a fancy gloss primer. It's so clean. You know, I'm almost looking at that, and I know it wouldn't look the same on the car, but I'm almost tempted to do a lot more of that color on Project Defiant. Because if we look here, move out of the way these turned out on the headlights and all that, that looks incredible. I haven't gotten down the sides yet. But this is prior. Actually, I need to update this picture. This is prior to me putting the good picture of where we changed the Delta Slash to the red Delta Slash over the top of that, and that looks incredible. I mean, you can really see it now that everything's cured in to that Raptor liner. 13 layers of paint on top of that Delta Slash. Oh, man, it looks good, and it's like obvious. You know, and a lot of people out there get the wrong idea now. I think I have created this, like, oh, he thinks he's a badass. Look at this car. With the paint scheme, I'm not trying to be fast. I can't tell you, since I have done this paint scheme, you know, especially with the red arrow on the hood, I can't tell you how many red lights that I've come up to or exit ramps I get off of, and people just like, you know, just, or get on ramps. Get on ramps are the best. Because I'm like, dude, you ain't going to catch me. I'm not trying to be fast, but you're not about to pass me. Fuck you. Because they're like, you know, the lane that runs out, you know, on the right, and you're in this lane. I'm in the left lane. I'm where I'm supposed to be. So I kind of play it off, and I'm kind of like peeping, and I'm looking for the clear lane over here, because I'm like, I'm going to get over as soon as I can, because they're going to run out of ramp before they catch me. And I'm gone. And then they get all pissed off. And then they take off past me, because I done got over and set cruise control. 75, let's go. And that's all I'm trying to do. I don't know why. Look, I was trying to get on the exit. There's this light, and it's known throughout the galaxy at this particular light, you get in the left lane. Because everybody in the right lane is getting on the on-ramp. Everybody in the left lane goes and then merges over to get on the other on-ramp that goes eastbound. Like 3 times. The most recent was this big, gigantic, like, Ford dually, you know, Cummins diesel of the apocalypse. And, man, my throat's dry. I'm doing my thing. I turn the corner, and I just take off. Because you got to go a little fast and then merge over. Because you got, like, maybe a quarter mile to get over. And so this dude's right here, and I'm looking. I'm like, dude, come on, really? So I go faster. And all of a sudden, I hear his turbos kick in. I'm like, come on, man. So I'm like, well, we get up there, and he's easing up on me, and I just let off the gas. Probably could have done it. Probably could have took him. But I'm just trying to get on my exit ramp, dude. And then, lo and behold, he goes straight and doesn't even get on the exit ramp. So he wasn't even trying to do that. Because if he got on that interstate, I'd have been gone. Because my car will do all of 140 that's on that speedometer. I know this for a fact. So there you go. I don't know. But ever since I put this paint scheme on the car, it's like the more I add to it, the more people think I'm trying to have a Lamborghini or some shit. I'm not. It's just a project. It's a tinker toy. Something to keep me out the bars and at the house doing it. I don't know. But, you know, that's something. Why don't I have that as a backdrop? I need to add a background. Where is my project? Let's see. It's add media file. You know, whenever we start talking about Project Defiant, I need to find, what's it even called? Let's do this while we're here. I've already got you this long. You might as well go ahead and stick around for this. Oh, yeah. Project Defiant. Look at there. NX74205. There we go. I like this backdrop too. Man, that's better than the other ones. Yeah. All right, is that enough for this one? What else do we have going on today? Laundry, did that. Fixed a bed for somebody today. They broke the wood. I don't know what they was doing. But anyway, it's a craft of the mind. Go out there and have some fun and stay tuned. I'm going to get that video. And it might be about things like this. And if it is about UFOs in Antarctica and Operation High Jump and Valiant Thor and all those other things, don't think I'm crazy. Because the more I'm not talking about it, and the more that I try to talk about it, the more information comes out. I'm just saying, people just, the world's trying to make us keep our heads down. And I've said this before. You know, as a matter of fact, somebody, who was it? Are you watching this video? And if you're this far in, who was that just recently said, left a comment, and then I commented on it, from 11 years ago. 11 years. I did a vlog. And it was one of those spontaneous vlogs like this one. If you're watching this video, who was that? Because I will link it in the description. Matter of fact, I am going to link it in the description. Of a vlog that I did 11 years ago. And it holds so true. Take Obama's name out of it and put insert whoever's name that you want to insert into this. And that vlog is almost exactly the clean version of what I am trying to get out today. But my filth, floor, and filth kind of comes out sometimes. And I get on a tangent. But that one, I was focused. I don't know why I was so focused that day as far as making that vlog. Who was that? I'm going to link it down here. All right. It's a craft of the mind. Go out there and have some fun, everybody. And Project Defiant continues as we're doing a little bit of interior work and a tune-up. Woo!